What's going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadskii, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. So today, data download happened at news time where we have a brand new treasure map Sugo Fest on the horizon. So this is going to be debuting on the 9th of June at 1900 PST time. That's when you should be expecting this particular banner to drop. Now I know recently on Global we've had a bunch of Sugo Fest. We obviously had the Luffy Zoro banner with Soba Mask, we've got the Hitetsu Sugo Fest, the 6+ Lucy Sugo Fest, and even prior to that with Chopper, Nami, KonradCurze. There's been a lot of big Sugo Fests that have happened recently, so I think that a lot of people might be hesitant to be summoning on a treasure map Sugo Fest, and I would completely understand that. And I've said this in pretty much every other video where I talk about treasure map Sugo Fest. You really shouldn't be summoning on these banners, only if you're like the type of person who likes to spend a decent amount of money on this game, like myself personally. Those are the types of people that these treasure map Sugo Fests are focused towards, because these units that debut on these treasure maps, they're only really going to be useful for particularly one event, and then you're never really going to be using them ever again. You know, you'll have very niche circumstances where it's really nice to have some of these other units, but more often than not, these are not required units for clearing content. They're just really nice units for helping you clear the treasure map that's going to be debuting on, I believe, the 11th of June at 1900 PST time. I believe that's when that particular event will begin. So over the coming days, I'll be preparing the X-Drake treasure map guide, breaking down free-to-play units and free-to-play teams that are going to help you out in this particular event. So definitely stay tuned for that. But before we get into, obviously, that related stuff, let's talk about the actual treasure map Sugo Fest. We'll talk about all of these units in greater detail. First things first, though, let's get into the step structure. So first of all, discounted multi for 30 rainbow gems instead of 50 on multi number 1, which is always good. The second multi is the guaranteed 5-star Hawkins, which is actually a very good unit in this particular treasure map. He's a really good utility-based unit, so he's going to help you clear out a lot of the effects you're going to be seeing on the final boss against X-Drake, and also the intrusion battle against Soba Mask. Multi 3 is a legend, Multi 4 is a rate boosted character, Multi 5 is a legend, Multi 6 is also a legend. That's pretty weird to have back-to-back legends on 5 and 6. You don't see that too often. That's pretty bizarre. Multi 7 is the treasure map Rare Recruit Law, 8 is a legend, 9 is a rate boosted character, 10 is a legend, 12 is a limited pool Sugo Fest exclusive. So the main booster, or the highest booster, being this Eustace Kid, he is not guaranteed in this banner, and if you do get him, I believe he'll be a 2.2 times point booster for the TM for global. Another thing that we have to just look at straight away is on this banner you can see the legends in the background. You've got Onami and KonradCurze. Kind of weird that the Sangoro or Luffy and Zoro are not boosted on this part. I feel like if they wanted to get people to summon even further, that would be a really good opportunity to do that, considering you're not going to be doing any pulls on part 2 or part 3, considering the TM rare recruits are not going to be guaranteed on those steps. So it's a little bit weird, but yeah, Onami and KonradCurze are going to be here instead. Another thing that we don't know that is also going to decide on, for a lot of people, whether or not they're going to be pulling or not, is our rare recruits going to be boosted on this part as well. We saw with the Hitetsu Sugo Fest, and we saw with the official debut of Luffy, Zoro, and Soba Mask, they did not rate boost any rare recruit characters, which were, it's honestly a huge dismay to a lot of people, including myself. You know, going so deep in those banners and not getting particular rare recruits is pretty disappointing. So that's going to be very interesting to see. Are they going to rate boost, Usohachi and stuff like that? Are they going to have really decent rates on this banner? Because that's going to decide for a lot of people whether or not they're going to be summoning or not. So hopefully those units have decent rates in this banner. So the steps are pretty typical of what you'd expect from a TM Sugo Fest. So let's go ahead and break down each of these new characters. So let's break down the first one, which is going to be Basil Hawkins. So as we said, this is the guy you get on multi number 2. His captain effect is irrelevant, but his special effect on a 10-turn cooldown reduces increased damage taken, attack down, and removes enemies' damage threshold all by 2 turns. That is freaking awesome. So good. And he changes his own orb, including block, into quick, so he gives himself a matching slot, which is fine. Like, that's... The matching slot effect doesn't really matter that much, but the utility that you get is really good. He's going to be good on both the intrusion battle and on the final boss fight against X-Drake. Having this guy is going to help out a lot, that is for sure. And, you know, you get him guaranteed on multi 2, which is very good. So Basil Hawkins is very impressive to me. The second unit, which is Law, he's guaranteed on multi 7, so I don't know if people are going to be doing 7 multis to get this guy. It's kind of ridiculous to do 7 multis considering the banner that we just had. But you've got this Trafalgar Law, who is a Dex character. Obviously, Hawkins was a quick unit. this Trafalgar Law, his special ability with a 13-turn cooldown reduces Despair and Burn duration by 3 turns, and he adds 35 times his attack as tap timing bonus damage for 3 turns. The Despair and Burn removal, yeah, it's nice to have. For Burn removal, if you have the new Frenoske, you can use him instead to remove Burn. But in terms of Despair, you could literally just make sure you've got sockets done and also use support effects to your advantage in order to get rid of the Despair. So honestly, this is honestly like a pretty irrelevant character. Like, you don't actually need this guy in order to clear the content. The only reason why you'd actually want to have this guy is because he's a high point booster. This guy should be a 2x point booster on this upcoming treasure map, so nothing really too crazy there. His special effect, honestly, is pretty underwhelming compared to what we saw with Hawkins. So yeah, pretty underwhelming. And then you've got the Eustace Kid, which is going to be the highest point booster on this treasure map. So his special ability on a 13-turn cooldown reduces your crew's paralysis by 3 turns, and also is a color affinity booster for both Dex and quick characters. So obviously against Sober Mask, he is a quick unit, so you want to have Dex units, and then against X-Drake, he is a strength unit, so you want to have quick characters. So this guy is just a color affinity booster and a paralysis remover. Pretty underwhelming also, because the color affinity boost you only get inside treasure map, so the only thing he does outside of TM is give you the paralysis reduction. Like, these units are pretty underwhelming, except for the Hawkins, who is like the most useful unit to have. He removes so many different debuffs, and you get him a multi too, so it's pretty valuable to get it. And look, if you pull the Kid or you pull the Law along the way, count yourself very lucky, because now you've got more point boosters and stuff like that. And obviously Sober Mask and Luffy Zoro should be 1.5 times point boosters during this treasure map, so people are going to be able to build some pretty good teams in this event. So I think that this particular event is going to be relatively competitive. That's what I'm expecting it to be. In terms of the other banners, they're all the same, nothing really too special there. Now, that was not the only thing that was data downloaded during this period that we got. There was another minor upgrade as well. We could just have a look at this really quick. These are the trusty characters you can get from the Fortnites, and it doesn't really matter. But the other thing that was added was the revamp of Garp challenges. Now, I haven't actually made a video dedicated to this. We did get news about it the other day on June 9th, so it's the same day as the Sugo Fest. There's going to be a revamp to the Garp challenges where they're deleting some of the old ones, and they may return in the future, but we don't really know at this current point in time. And they're going to be putting new missions in. So if we go to the Garp challenges real quick, you've got Garp Challenge 2. So you know how there's like sets 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then there's Garp Challenge 6. The second set of missions are going to be available here. Now, all of these missions, if you've already completed them, obviously it's whatever, but you can actually do them again and you can get different rewards from last time. So these missions have been reset. You can complete them again to get some good rewards. Now, if you actually look as well, there is going to be a new island. So this is Garp Challenge versus Heavenly Demon number 1. So this event is a brand new style of Garp challenge that's going to be implemented over the next couple of months. So when you complete this particular mission, I believe when you complete it, it will unlock the Heavenly Demon version 2. So there's 2 versions of this. There is the number 1 and number 2. Number 2 is like your typical Garp challenge, where it is extremely difficult. You need some of those higher tier characters in order to make your way through that type of event. Whereas on number 1 of the event is a little bit more low-key. The difficulty is nowhere near as high, and there are special Chopperman requests that are associated with this event. So if we go to the special missions and we scroll down, we can actually have a look at this. So first of all, you've got the Clear All request for Garp Challenge 1. It'll give you, boiled lobsters, 5 rainbow gems, and a Guiding Key silver. So Guiding Keys are used to limit break expand your characters. You've got the gold ones for Legends, you've got the blue ones for Treasure Map, but now this one is a silver key. So silver keys are used to limit break expand generic rare recruit characters, because that is going to be a new feature coming into the game where generic rare recruits are going to be getting limit break expansions. Still, you know, the cost of that is still going to be quite excessive, but not as much as Legends, but that's still going to be a feature that you can get, and you can only get these silver keys from completing Garp missions. Now, if you scroll past that, now these are the generic missions you have to complete with Garp Challenge Heavenly Demon number 1. This one requires you to beat it only with strength units. Then you've got one for Dex, one for Quick, Psi, and also Int. So if you complete each of these missions on the Heavenly Demon version 1 with a different colored team, you get rewards for that. And it gives you a rainbow gem each time, some lobsters, and also some limit break materials. Like, that's fine. And then past that, you've got one for fighter characters. You've got one for slashers, strikers, shooters, free spirit, driven, cerebral, and powerhouse. So you need to go ahead and beat this particular mission 13 times, 1 for each color, and then you've got 8 for each of the classes. And by doing that, you'll be able to complete all of those missions and then get this one at the top as a reward. Now, past that, as I said, there's going to be a Heavenly Demon Mission 2, which is significantly more difficult, and you can see the rewards definitely reflect that. You get 10 rainbow gems, you get a key, you get almighty manuals, you get 100 of each cotton candy. You get that for completing mission 2, and this is a very difficult mission. And then, of course, all of the Garp challenge missions for the second set of missions, the generic one, this one right here, all of those have been reset with different rewards. So we can actually go ahead and have a look at the new Garp mission rewards, and I think it gives you a key and stuff if you complete it. Yes, it does give you a key. 5 rainbow gems and also a silver key for completing Garp Mission 2. So that's the main difference there, is that Garp Mission 2 will now be the only one that you can play, and also the new missions with the Heavenly Demon is going to be available. Now, when this drops, I'm already starting to plan teams for these particular events, so expect videos on every single color for every single class. Expect a video breaking down this event. It's going to be pretty good fun because these events are not as hard as your Garp missions that you would know and love. These are a little bit more low-key, a little bit easier to complete, so I think a lot of people are going to be able to beat these ones. Heavenly Demon Mission 2, though, is on a whole different level. It's much, much more difficult. But there we go. That's all I really wanted to talk about in this video today, breaking down all of the new information that came with us in the data download. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that one. Now, of course, should you be pulling? No, you should not be pulling, especially if you're free to play. If you are the type of player to spend money on the game, then of course it is up to you. But no, you should be skipping this particular banner, if at all possible. But anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video today, and if you guys did, make sure to leave a like. And if you want to stay up to date with all the content that I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. Make sure you go ahead and do that, because we are very, very close to 50,000 subscribers, so it would be absolutely wicked if we could reach that milestone. But other than that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.